407 years ago, our founding fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. And we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation, or any nation so conceived and so dedicated, can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of the war. We've come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those here who gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a large sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it, far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little know, nor long remember, what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. And as for us living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they fought there, have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that these honored dead we take increase devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve these dead shall not die in vain. That this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom. And that government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth. It's almost humorous to me in the line where President Lincoln said, "The world will little know, nor long remember what we say here." Because I think the Gettysburg Address is possibly one of the most infamous speeches ever given by a president. We all know that the Gettysburg Address was given during a time of war, during our civil war in this country. And it took a powerful man like that to come out and say, for the first time, I think, possibly since the American Revolution, that all men are created equal. You know, that's obviously a huge cause for the Civil War. You know, was the issue of slavery. It was a big deal, and for a man to stay up and say something like that publicly, just phenomenal. But not only that, to have a president sit there, and people don't understand this, that, you know, if you heard in the speech that they were there on the grounds where men and women had died. And he understood what it took. He understood that they were husbands, they were fathers, they were sons, and they were brothers. There's many instances in the Civil War where family members were fighting against family members. It was a horrible time, but it's something we as a nation can never forget. In order to know where you're going, you have to know where you've been. And that's the purpose of history. And I hope you look at the Gettysburg Address. I hope you look at the Constitution, at the Declaration, at the Bill of Rights. I hope you dive into history and never forget where we were as a nation. Never forget how we became a nation. Thank you.